Welcome to PhD in Science. Today's video will be an introduction to evolution. Evolution is a large topic which covers many subtopics, so I will only cover a few of them. Feel free to skip to the part that you are interested in and pause or rewind to the step that you didn't quite catch. If you don't understand something, feel free to comment below and I will be more than happy to answer. Without further ado, let's get started. The basic idea of biological evolution is that populations and species of organisms change over time. When the term evolution comes to our mind, we probably think of one person, Charles Darwin. Charles Robert Darwin was a British naturalist, geologist, and biologist, well known for his contributions to the study of evolution. He was born on the 12th of February 1809 and died on the 19th of April 1882. His statement that all forms of organisms have descended over time from common ancestors is now generally acknowledged and considered a central idea of science. In his 1859 published book on the origin of species, Darwin proposed his findings of evolution with convincing evidence. Darwinism is Charles Darwin's theory of hypotheses for understanding the transition of organisms, so evolution basically, with natural selection in particular, so the concept of selection. Furthermore, the term is also used to indicate universal Darwinism, a general theory of evolutionary mechanisms which states that if there is variability and selection pressure, evolution can take place in any context, also outside of biology. Darwin did more than only suggest that organisms evolved. Natural selection, on the other hand, was a process Darwin also suggested for evolution. This method describes how populations may develop in a way that made them better suited to the environments throughout the time. Darwin's concept of natural selection was based on several key observations. Traits are often heritable. In living organisms, many characteristics are inherited or passed from parent to offspring. More offspring are produced that can survive. Organisms are capable of producing more offspring than their environments can support, which leads to competition and limited resources. Offspring vary in their heritable traits. The offspring in any generation will be slightly different from one another in their traits, so in color, size, shape, etc. And many of these features will be heritable. Based on these simple observations, Darwin concluded the following. In a population, some individuals will have inherited traits that help them survive and reproduce more than individuals that don't have these traits, if other factors are also present and available, such as space and the availability of resources. Because the helpful traits are heritable, and because organisms with these traits leave more offspring, the traits will be more present in the next generations. Over generations, the population will become adapted to its environment, and there will be more individuals with advantageous traits. For instance, it made sense that the several species of Galapagos finch would resemble one another if they had a common ancestor. However, if groups of finches had been separated on different islands for many generations, each group would have experienced a different environment that would have favored particular heritable features such as varied beak shapes and sizes for various food sources. These elements might have influenced the evolution of species on each island. Natural selection does not prefer characteristics that are better in some fundamental way. Instead, it rewards characteristics that are advantageous in a particular setting. In some environments, traits that are advantageous can really be harmful. Most of these characteristics are a result from random mutations. As the Industrial Revolution took place, it became advantageous for moths to have a darker color. At that time, moths that were born with darker coloration were more likely to survive and reproduce, passing on the dark version of their genes to their offspring, while the white moths were less likely to survive and pass on their unique set of genes. This meant that the number of each variation of moth would decrease due to natural selection, and predominantly black moths were surviving. That was it. I hope you have learned something new and would appreciate if you can use these videos to support your learning path. I do also have an Instagram and TikTok account where I will post short, concise clips of each topic.